on, man. Hey, all this self-serve, man. You ain't getting paid next month, bro. 71,
Be good.
70, 69. Man. Yeah, the other feedback, man. Yeah, what is that? Ooh! Ooh!
I'll always have a positive word because I'm here to serve.
Hey!
This is the daily bread.
Ah!
Daily bread.
Hey!
This is the daily bread.
Well, y'all about to make me miss it. Hey! Good evening, good evening, good evening. This is Joaquin Thompson with the Daily Bread Radio Show, coming to you live from Snellville. And this thing's still kind of twisted, bro. You got it all on one side.
You did that. No,
Man,
it's
every
good
week,
right here.
man. I don't know why. But yeah, we're coming to you live from Snellville, Georgia, right outside of Atlanta, suburb of Atlanta. Not in Atlanta, but I think we need to move down about move down about 10 miles, we can say, from Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? This thing working, man?
Yeah, it's working.
Man, this thing, I don't think it's working. But anyway, so for those of you that are joining for the first time, this show is about personal finance from a spiritual standpoint. Notice I didn't say from a religious standpoint, because religion, that's a whole nother topic. But what we like to do is talk about personal finance and everything that's connected to personal finance. Everything that's, intertwined with personal finance. Everything that's intersegmented with our life. Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good. That sounds much better. Much better. And
I get a raise?
man, you ask too many questions, man. What you want me to do?
I get a raise?
Man, you ain't getting no raise. We down to 70. You know what that means. You know when I say down to 70, you know exactly what that means. So what we try to do each and every week is talk about different topics, talk about what's going on in the world, talk about what's going on in politics. We talk about what's going on in our culture. We talk about things that are going on at national, local, state level. And again, bring it all back to personal finance, because everything that we do, everything that we touch, everything that we think about, everything, and I mean everything, is tied to personal finance. The number to the show, 678-381-1973. 678-381-1973. If you have a question, if you have a comment, or if you just want to call it, excuse me, I had some cookies before I came in. Or if you want to just call in and leave a comment, let us know if how we doing, if you have something, a particular or a specific question about something, then we can jump right in on your question, see what we're doing, and take it from there. 678-381. You might want to put that in the chat. I don't know why I don't see the comments. Every weekend people say, you ain't responding to comments.
Because you need to log on mine. Mine, you can do that. Yours on one.
Man, come on, man. It's Facebook, man. It ain't Raheem book. It's Facebook, man. All thing you got to do is swipe the thing up. Man, I got to do everything.
I got
to
stop.
I'm not. Look, man. The thing was I just seen the comments. But so tonight's show we're gonna talk about a couple of different things. One of the things that was on my mind this week was just really thinking about something that I call staying power. And staying power is, when you're really going after something and, it might take a while. It might take some time. And always looking for confirmation of things that are happening in the world where you can see God working through other people and letting you know that, for other people as well, it's, they're working through things. So this week, I was looking at the TV and watching some basketball. Of course, we get ready to go into the NBA playoff season. So one of the things that I noticed was the other night I was looking at TV, and this guy, when they came on, and they were saying how they were so amazed that this brother was making his debut as a Los Angeles Laker, and that he was 32 years old. So when they showed him, brother had salt and pepper hair, so at first I was like, wow, this brother, this is his first game in the league. But the thing that made it phenomenal was that this brother coming into the league, his name is Andre Ingram. I had to look it up. Andre Ingram, because I wanted to, get his brother his props. But Andre Ingram, just listening to his story, again, motivated me. So the thing about, for those of you all who didn't catch this story, and it did go viral, and that was like 2 days ago. What ended up happening was this brother, like I said, he had been playing in the developmental league. Listen to this. In the NBA, because you got the NBA and then the NBA has their developmental league, what they call the D League, right? This brother had been playing in the D League for how long? He's waiting on his opportunity to get to the NBA. How long has he been playing in the D League? 10 years.
Wow.
This brother had been in the league from 22 years old to 32 years old.
Wow.
In the D League. So while he was in the D League, guess what he didn't faint. He didn't, he stayed encouraged, kept working, kept grinding. So now the LA Lakers bring him up. They said, okay, this your night. You will come up. We're gonna bring you up to the Lakers, coming to the NBA. So this is your rookie debut, right? The game before the last game of the season. So there's only 2 games left in the season. So he gets to the LA Lakers the game before the last game of the season, right? So they said, you know what? But it just shows you, look, this brother had been in the D League for 10 years. So while they were doing the warm-ups, they were asking Charles Barkley, Kenny Smith, Shaq, like, realistically, like when you came out of college, if it took, how long would you play in the D League before you just kind of like, you know what, maybe this ain't gonna work. Maybe I need to just go and get me a 9 to 5, and maybe I'm not. All of them said, I think Charles Barkley said like 2 years. He said like 2, maybe 3 years. Shaq was like, I would probably gave it like a year or 2. Kenny Smith was like, I think I'd probably give it like 4 years. 3 or 4 years after that, I'd been. This brother was in the D League for 10 years, right? So they call him up, and I'm watching. I said, man, this right here, that's a deep story. But the funny part was when they showed the brother, he had the salt and pepper hair, so he looked older. So I was like, rookie. Like, dang, dog. So he definitely looked the part. But the thing that was so amazing was, in those moments, that's God.
Yeah.
That's God giving you confirmation, saying, look, I'm going to show you something. So that was the first part. So I'm thinking like, okay. Because they said he getting in the game. But they were just showing him just the fact that he was able to dress on the team. He good to go. Okay. So the game starts. They play. They going back and forth, what have you. They play in Houston. Right? So Houston already in. They the number 1 seed in the West. So they in the playoffs. So the game ain't mean nothing to them, but they, the other players out there, they balling. Man, they call this brother, man. They say, Andre Ingram. They like, man, they probably call that brother name. He's still looking at the game. They said, Andre. That joker was just looking at the game. They said, hey, okay. Man, dude checked in, winning the game. Raheem. Just like a brother. Just like a brother would do. What would you do, man, if you've been playing in the D League for 10 years and you own the Lakers and they call you in the game? As soon as you get in the game, what you gonna do?
You gonna shoot?
Ah! That joker, man. Bro, they went down court. When they came back down court, that dude passing the ball. Hey. That brother said, you.
Did he hit?
Man, he hit a 3.
Oh, okay.
Boy, dog. Hey, he went back down court. He came back. They gave the ball again. Guess what he did?
shot-
Wow!
He shot again.
Shot another three. Man, them people's going crazy. Man, that brother, man, he balled out. This dude, first game in the NBA, man, he had 19 points.
Oh, that's good. That's
19 points, had like 2 steals,
good. Did he have any assists?
had a block.
Did he pass?
He did. He had Let me tell you about the assist, man. That but you tell that joker was old school, bro. Cause I ain't seen one of them. That joker gave him 8. He did have an assist, but that mother was like an Uncle Drew assist. Man, you know them young boys now, man, they all got their
Yeah.
Man, that joker came down. That joker, man, last time you seen that joker did a 2-hand goddamn bounce pass.
Good Lord.
I said, that joker did like that. Joker came down. He said,
Old school.
dude. I was like, man, wow, bruh. But the thing that was so awesome, man, first time in the league, first time being on the court, man, that joker had 3 threes, bruh. That's what bruh. Yeah, man, I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
That man had 3 threes. That man had 19 points. That man had 19 points, man, the first time he stepped on the court in the NBA and had been waiting 10 years,
He
man.
just like an old dude.
Hey, man, he got the salt and pepper, bro. 32, a lot of dudes have been in the league and out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Through Dylan.
They done came in the league at 22, at 32, they out. They done. They retired. They can go in the Hall of Fame.
What you doing? What you gonna do tonight, Pop?
32. He's
Going to
like,
sleep?
man, that joker there.
Going to sleep?
Man, that joker had to go get rested up, man. They probably had to pray for extra ice for that joker. But he was hyped. But I loved it, man, because it just, again, like what we talk about on the show, man,
Don't give up.
a lot of people, man, talk about a lot of things, what they gonna do and how they gonna do it. Bro, he was, 10 years, man. So you can imagine how many people told him what? Man, forget about it,
You're
bro.
gonna make it.
Bro, let it go. Go get you a job, man. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Now, he done went from let it go, to guess what? Not everybody been hearing about his story, man, because it went viral. I mean, dude ain't just get in the game, man. He got in there and balled out for the LA Lakers. And guess what? So guess what's going to happen next year? They're going to bring him back.
Everybody asking for tickets
Heck
now.
yeah.
They're asking for tickets.
Hey, come on, bro. He coming back next year. So that right there, so that kind of gave me, my talking point for the day, which is really about that, man. Just staying power. Just the ability to set your mind on something and be able to say, you know what? Come, like the old folks used to say, come hell or high water. Come hell or high water, and if the creek don't rise,
Come on now.
come hell or high water, and the creek don't rise, I will be right here. I will be right here. So that was Andre Ingram, man. So if you haven't checked it out, I mean, of course, with social media and the way things are today, man, you could go out and, Google him, look him up, see what's happening. I would love to have, man, you need to call him, man, so we can get him on the show.
I'll call him next week.
You need to call him, man. I mean, you need to call that brother, man, and see if we can get him on the show. You can call him now, man, in LA.
You better call him now.
Man, call that brother, man. See if he can come on the Daily Bread radio show, man. We can talk to him a little
Go
bit
to Kobe.
and see what's happening, man. But that was one of the things that I wanted to talk about. The other thing I want to talk about is this, man.
Call.
I told you. See, the thing about the Daily Bread radio show is what I say every week. Don't come on the show listening to me, laughing, talking, joking, having a good time, enjoying myself. Great listening audience, extra support. Don't come on the show just listening. Come on the show with a pen or a piece of paper or a pencil. Take some notes and go to work.
There you go.
Take some, because I'm giving it to you. I'm giving it to you. I'm giving you hustle. I'm giving you business. I'm giving you credit, budgets, banking, debt.
Everything.
I'm giving you spreads. I'm giving it to you. And I'm saying, don't listen to me go on and on for an hour every week, and then you say, hey, man, that was a good show, and then blaze off. No, I'm going to take this stuff and put it to work. Now, I've been talking, it's been about 4 months, because you finished the book?
No. I got another book, man.
Oh, shoot, man. Listen, man. You gotta focus, bro. You gotta focus, man. I told you the book to get. Come on, man. You showing that to me?
Yes, sir.
You ain't showing that to me, bro.
You see, you read this one?
Now, who you-
Look at that. Is that right there? That's your boy, too.
Come on, man. Napoleon Hill.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, see, you gonna make me digress, man. Let me tell you about Napoleon Hill, man.
Tell me about it.
Let me tell you about Napoleon Hill. First of all, you ain't been taking notes, man. I'm gonna need you to start taking notes. Just because you the producer, don't think you could come on this show. Because when I'm gonna start doing it, if you ain't taking no notes, man, I'm gonna need you to leave till I finish, and then you come back. Just set everything up if you ain't gonna take no notes. I done had
I'll see you later.
all his books on here.
Man, I've been reading.
Bro, I done had 3 of his books on here since I've been on.
I read
Think you go rich.
I read 3 sentences.
What you read? What it say?
Get rich.
Goodness gracious.
Persevere.
Come
and
on.
don't give up.
Come on, man. Come on. You copying off of me. You ain't said that in that book.
Yeah.
I done read that book, man. Anyway, let me get back to where I was at, man. Anyway, go on and read it then. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. It's a great book. That's a classic.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's level 1. Now, when you're ready to go to level 2, when you're ready to go to level 2, then you get the laws. Listen to this one now.
Okay.
Then you go get the laws of success.
Okay. Let's see if I can find that.
The Laws of Success by Napoleon Hill. You go and get that one when you're ready to go to level 2. That's like going from elementary to middle school. So then you go to middle school, you get the Laws of Success. Now when you're ready for high school,
Come on.
then you go and get Napoleon Hill, Outwitting the Devil. Ooh, boy.
Look at that. Look at that.
Come on, man. You need to get that. And then when you're ready for high school, get Outwitting the Devil, man, and that'll tell you exactly what you need to do. Who we got? Oh yeah, we got. Man, I can't even. Man, you got that thing, so.
Man, no, you just can't see.
All right, Ms. Stevens. Thank you for joining. Big D, I appreciate you. I see you on as well. And the rest of the fam, I see you all. If you all want to call in, if you got a comment, 678-381-1973. 678-381-1973. But going back to what I was saying about don't listen to the show and don't move on it. Now I gave you a good book. I told you to read the book. The book gonna put you in the game. What you do? You get the book.
I got the
Show me the book. Oh, I got the book. He said, oh, I got the book. I got the book. Well, how many chapters did you read?
1.
Man, see, you know what, man?
One thing I ain't no lie.
You know what, man? I think this might be it, bro. This might be the end of the run.
Okay. Well, you
This 46, I had a good run.
46. You got
I had a good run.
954.
I had a good run, man. It's since February of 2017. I've had a good run. We've had some great shows. But I think it's time for me to close up shop because
900.
sight. Nah, man, but check this out. Check this out.
Talk to me.
This is what I'm talking about, power. Now, I gave you that book. It's called Banking Revolution,
Yes.
right? I said, read this book because this book right here changed your life, right? By Pamela Yellen. I said, read this book, and it's talking to you about life insurance and how you can leverage life insurance and get into some other investments through your life insurance policy where you become the bank. Now, when you say something like that, when you talk about power, right, it's nothing more powerful than saying, I'm the bank.
Exactly.
Do you realize, even when you play Monopoly, you know the player who got the most power in Monopoly?
The banker.
The person that's the banker. You know why? Because they handle the money, right? They control the money. Not only do they control the money, guess what else they control? What else do the banker control in Monopoly?
The houses, the finance, everything.
They control the houses
The real estate.
and they control the real estate.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
In Monopoly. Okay. So so you fast forward, so you come into the real world, you come out of Monopoly. What does the bank do? They control what?
The finance.
They control the money. And what else do they control? They control the real estate. So here we go. So I'm telling you about this, I'm reading on, I'm doing my research.
Come on.
Boy, let me tell you, man, what happened. How about I start doing the research? I said, no, I'm going to use my own medicine. So I said, I'm going to put this into play for me too. Right? Boy,
What you do?
Boy,
Come on.
boy,
Come on now.
boy, boy.
Something happened, y'all.
Man, start working on one. Man, these people taking me all up and down, and I knew it wasn't nobody but, you know, somebody trying to keep me from getting to what I'm supposed to get to, right? Just another chapter in the story, right? I said, man, I'm filling out the app. I'm trying to get the life insurance put in place. I mess around telling people, look, they said, do you smoke? I said, I don't really smoke,
Yeah.
right? I don't smoke.
Yeah.
They said, you don't smoke nothing? No. I said, well, every now and then I smoke a cigar.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, they went all into this. Oh, that's just like being a smoker. I was, oh, man, come on, bro. I might smoke a cigar
They looking for something.
every 3 months or so. You know what I'm saying? Somebody win the Super Bowl or we go. I mean,
They look-
it ain't like I'm smoking cool Filter Kings every day. You know what I'm saying? Or Paul Malls or, you know, Marlboro. So went through that foolishness, man. Ended up, just to show you how the creator work, ended up getting referred to somebody. And you know how you ever have an interaction with somebody and your first impression is like, I don't like this person. Like, oh, ooh, it's just something about them.
Yeah. You don't say
You know what I'm saying? It's just, I don't. So I met this dude and I was like, you know what? I do not like this.
I'm upset right with this cat.
Especially talking about no money. I said, man, why am I? I'm like, why is this dude? It wasn't that he was talking to me crazy. He was talking, you know, financial stuff. But at the same time, I was just like, he seems short, like busiest. I don't know what it is, man. Anyway, I was like, man, I ain't. How about we come full circle? This the dude got the info.
Wow.
This the dude that dropped the boy. This the dude that got the juice. He got the juice.
And you didn't like it.
Right? So he tell me what to do. Do this, just like we do on the show. He said, do this. Say this. Go this way. I said, oh, shoot. So I took all the stuff that he said, boom, bam, boom.
It worked.
Got the policy.
Wow.
Boy, listen here. Got the policy, put the policy in play. Now, I'm in a position where I'm getting ready to create where I'm going to be the bank. It's just like Monopoly. I'm going to be the bank, right? So in this policy, the way the policy works, if you manage it in a certain way, you can become the bank. And what I mean by you become the bank, it's like this. Say you want to go buy, what you want to go buy? You want to go buy a car. I know the first thing out your mouth. I heard you soon as you.
It was coming out.
I know, man. You want to go buy a car.
Yes, sir.
So now you're going to buy a car. Now, what you buying the car, the deal with that is this. How you going to buy it? How you going to purchase it? Right? What you going to do? How you going to purchase it?
You gotta get a loan.
Got to get a loan. Right? So when you go to get the loan, where you going to get the loan from?
Gotta go to the bank.
Got to go to the bank. Or the credit union.
Credit union, yeah.
Got to go to the credit. It ain't no K in credit.
Credit.
So now you got to go to the credit union.
Yeah, the credit union. The credit.
You got to go to the credit union.
Gotta get some credit.
So now you got to go to the credit union.
Yeah.
Now, what if you had a policy that you could put into play when instead of you going to the credit union,
Credit.
you could be the bank.
You get it for
And
yourself.
you could go to your own, you know what I'm saying, Mr. Wiggles credit union,
That's good.
right? And get the loan for your new car.
That's good.
Right? So now you borrowing from yourself, but just like at the regular bank, but when you start to pay yourself back, how you pay yourself back? Are you just gonna give your money? Are you just gonna give the money back to yourself that you paid for the car? Is that how it works?
Shit, it would be good if it did.
No. You got to do what? You got to pay yourself back with what?
Money.
Interest.
Oh,
Everybody get paid interest, man. Even you. You got to pay yourself back with interest, bro.
so you making money?
Boy, what? Man, we not playing on this show, man. We are not playing on this show. You in the right place at the right time, in the right year, at the right month. We're not playing on this show. That's why I say don't come on here listening to us, chop it up, have a good time, be inspirational. Take some of this information and say, you know what, I'm gonna need to learn more about that.
Yeah.
Now the sweet part about it is this. Here go the sweet part.
Talk to me.
the sweet part, and this is stuff that they don't want you to know. Kyle Liner, that's one of my homies. Now, hey, that's Dr. Liner. So I know I need a loan too, man. So call me. We went I just said on the bank. I just said on the bank, hey Kyle, call me 678-381-1973. 678-381-1973. Kyle, one of my rich friends, so
Some just went.
you know what I'm saying? I went from the bank to I need a loan.
Something go right just now.
No, bro, that's relationship, man. That's friendship. You know what I'm saying? Hey, call me, Kyle. Call me. But no, man. But here's the thing, though. When you put yourself in a position like that, let me show you what some of our counterparts are doing. Right now, we're going. Now we've come full circle, and now we've talked about monopoly and the banker being in the most powerful position. Now the beauty of this type of policy is this. When you start utilizing this policy, what else happens when you use money? Now we're going into quiz time, because I've been talking about this for a year and a half. When you use, say you have a loan, say you have a credit card, or you have a loan, and you go, the first thing is when you go through the process, when you say, I want to go get a car. So when you go to the bank to get a loan, what's going to happen? You're going to get a credit inquiry, right? So that's number one. You're going to get a credit inquiry when they pull your credit. Then when they pull your credit, they say, okay, we're going to give you the best scenario. So you approve, they're going to put you in the car. They put you in the car on their terms, at their interest rate, with their bank, with their lender, what have you, right? But now, when that gets added to your credit report, your score going to go down too, because now you got new credit, right? And we said new credit is also factored into your overall credit scores. It's one of the 5 dimensions,
It is.
right? They go into your score. Not only new credit, but what else? Utilization. That's going to also pull your score down. Check this out. But if you have this type of policy set up where you can go right in, you can call them and say, hey man, I need to get, how much the car is that you get? How much is the car?
44.
It's 44.
Yeah.
What kind of car you get for $44,000?
Getting BMW.
Oh, you get the BMW. Okay, a $44,000 BMW.
Yeah. It's used.
Man, you don't need no 40. Man, you better.
It's used.
Oh, it's used, so you getting the big boy.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I ain't mad at you. You getting the $44,000 BMW. I ain't mad. The credit union go.
They gonna kill me.
Man, they gonna.
But I'm my own bank.
Man, I gotta stop laughing, man. I can't.
I'm my own bank.
Listen, man, I can't. Look, man, I'm auditioning for my other show. I can't keep laughing with you, man. Listen. So, what's gonna happen is, you got your utilization, you got an inquiry, you got their interest, but with this type of policy, and this is what I've been talking about on the show. When we learn about these type of policies, when you have this type of policy, you go to buy that, that $44,000 BMW. Just think if it was all that whole $44,000 is coming from you.
Yes.
So same scenario, but guess what? When the $44,000 coming from you, guess what doesn't happen? No credit inquiry, right? Number one. Number two, you don't have to go and ask somebody, am I approved? That's number two. Number three, them 5, I'm going to say it, because some people are financing cars up to 7 years now. So them 5 to 7 years of interest that you would have been paying to the credit union, that money coming to who?
Coming to you.
Come back
Right
to you.
back. Right back.
Right? So now your bank is growing because you paying yourself back for the same $44,000 BMW that you was going to pay the credit union.
Exactly.
Right? So when you think about it from that standpoint, just that one transaction alone,
It's a win-win.
bruh, is that worth it?
Yes, sir. That's a
Come on,
win-win.
man.
That's a win-win.
Come on, man. Come on. But this is what our counterparts been doing. So, and I just gave you, that's the low level, small transaction. The ones that I've been reading about, these cats, now you done heard about the people who, and this happens all over the U.S., right? I see my, Ganya, I see you join. Thank you for joining the Daily Bread Radio Show. I see my sister-in-law, D, I see you on, D Alfred. So with that, I just lost my train of thought, man. What was we talking about? I had a break. Oh.
You see,
Listen, man.
It's a win-win.
Man, listen, this is my show, bro.
Hey,
You ain't gonna run, man. You ain't gonna do my show.
You can't
But
remember.
anyway,
You gotta remember.
man, hey man, focus on the board. Focus, bro.
That's what I'm
So, but on a big scale, all over the U.S., you hear people talking about what? They flipping houses, right? So here's another one for you all, right? You hear people, oh, I'm gonna buy a house, I'm gonna fix it up and sell it, right? So let's talk through that scenario. So you're a real estate investor. Now you find a little property is distressed. You said, hey, I could put in a new kitchen, new bathroom, put some new paint, put a new roof on, switch out the furnace, and brought it for 60. I'm gonna put 40 into it. I'm gonna be into it for 100. I can sell it all day for 150, right? But you don't have the initial 60 or the 40 to renovate the house. So what happens at that point? You go out, can't go to the bank because the bank don't give them type of loans. So you're gonna have to either go hard money or you're gonna have to go private lender. Hard money loan, private lender. Now what hard money and private lender, they really are the same thing. They just use different terms. So you go and get a $100,000 hard money loan at 10%. So we're gonna make the numbers good. 100,000 at 10%. You only gonna have it. Listen to this number now. $100,000 at 10%. So if you get a $100,000 loan at 10% interest, that's 10,000 you out of, right? You gonna pay when you pay it back, you gonna pay the interest on it, right?
Oh, yeah.
So here's the deal. But most of the times with those type of transactions, how long do they last? 6 months. You're trying to get out of the house as quickly as possible, right? So let's just say 6 months, right? So the private lender, right, or the hard money lender, where are they getting the money to loan to you? I know, man. Bruh, it's just like a hard SAT question.
Yes, it is.
But here's the thing. What a lot of people are doing is they're leveraging the value that they have in their insurance policy, right? They're lending, listen to this, they are lending the money out to people that are real estate investors at 10 and 15 and 20 and 25%, right? And they're getting all the interest back. They're going to get the money back. And so then people say, well, man, what if they, default on the loan? What if? They good because most of the time they only going to do a 65% loan to value on the property. So what does that mean? That means that they're only going to loan 65% of the value of the house after repair, right? So if you go in there and for whatever reason you underestimated or your contractor ran off with all the goods or whatever, for whatever reason, you can't pay them their money back. They're going to take your house at 65%, and then they're going to put it on the market at probably 75 or 80%. They're going to get all their money back, right, in a short order, and then put all the money back into the insurance policy.
Do it all over again.
Right? And the reason this is so deep is I was talking to a friend of mine today. He was telling me he was so excited. He was like, man, I just got my license to sell life insurance. I started telling him about this policy. He told me, you know what he told me? He said, what you talking about? He said, ain't no policy like that. I said, oh my goodness.
Didn't even know.
Bro, you got to read, man. You got to read. And that's why I tell people, and I've been talking about this book, and if you don't have, you need to get this, but you got to get the book and read it, man.
Yes, sir.
You can't get the book and, like, I don't know what you're doing with the books, but you got to get the book and read it. But for the listener, this is a good book for you to have. The Banker's Code. And the Banker's Code, what it's talking about is how you can change your mindset and your assets to be the bank. Because that's what we want to be. We want to be the bank. Don't even have to go to the bank and ask Mr. Charlie, hey, Mr. Charlie, can I get a loan? We too old for that, man. We 50, 45, 50. I mean, you get tired of asking people for, nah, I can get that myself. And the other benefit is this, from a legacy standpoint. Here's another benefit of being able to put yourself in position. The number to the show, 678-381-1973. 678-381-1973. I had to put that out there because I saw more and more people joining The broadcast. And the other benefit of having this type of policy in place is this. Think about the generation that's coming behind us, our kids and our grandkids. So now when your son or daughter, they get ready to buy their first house or condo, or they're going to lease something, or they get ready to start their own business, they want to get a franchise. Instead of them having to go to the bank and say, hey, Mr. Charlie, can I borrow $15,000? I want to open up a Subway in our neighborhood so that way we have some more positive type of businesses other than liquor stores and check cash in places. I want to open up a Subway. What if you could fund it through your insurance policy, and now your son or daughter or niece or nephew, whomever, they got a business, they got viable, they got working capital. Like, we're not bootstrapping everything. We're trying to, we're trying to grow. We're not trying to just go in circles. We're trying to grow so we can elevate. So, I mean, all of those things coupled together, and it's a lot of stuff that I'm not even talking about. And the best part is this. Whatever you buy, this is the way that this guy told it to me when I first found out. He said, whatever you buy through this policy, it's like you getting it for free. And I was like, getting it for free? What do you mean? He said, because whatever you spend out of this policy, the money's going to come back to you.
Coming back, yeah.
So it's like that $44,000 BMW, when you put the $44,000 out, guess what's going to happen?
It's coming back.
The $44,000 going to come back. So when the $44,000 come back, guess what?
So instead of spending your money, you're circulating your money.
You circulating your money with you. Ooh, ooh. Ain't nothing better than that. Ain't nothing, and I know that's not proper grammar. There's nothing better than circulating money with you.
Come on.
With you. And it's not on your credit report. And, no, but listen to this. Here's another one. This is another benefit. And sometimes, because we fully transparent on the Daily Bread radio show, right? What if somebody tries to sue you? Because sometimes you have a slip and fall. Somebody think you got that $44,000 BMW. They like, nah, brother, you gonna pay me. So they sue you and they try to attach things to your assets, right? Your house, your car, your this, that, and other. Guess what? So now your money tied up. They done froze your accounts, this, that, and other. Guess what? Guess what? Guess what they can't freeze? They can't freeze money in a life insurance policy.
That's right.
What? So that means you like
you still falling out of control.
So that mean you almost we got a call. Calling you on the air with Joaquin with the Daily Bread Radio Show. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hey, this Private Duval, man.
Where you from? No, man, no, don't call in here with that, man. We've been having an awesome show. Where you from? What's your name and where you from?
What I do it, my dude.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Where you from? Duval. Hey, boy. Hey, I ain't put it on the air yet, but boy, I looked at that Jaguar schedule, boy. That Jaguar schedule looks something fierce, boy.
Well, got Breeze first, huh?
Boy, we about to do them jokes like, you be looking at TV, boy, them jokes get into a fight. Them jokes gonna be like, they're gonna be like New England. Wow! Out there in Pittsburgh. Wow!
Watch your mouth.
Oh, you a Pittsburgh fan?
Yes, I am.
Wow! They're gonna get to Philadelphia. They're going overseas and go to Philadelphia. Wow! Redskins. Wow! Tennessee. Wow! Got there in the Colts. Wow! It's going down in the goddamn Bengals, baby.
Cleveland gonna be.
What's happening, man?
That's what it do.
Hey, man, what's on your mind, man? What you got going on?
Man, I was just checking in, though, man. I was just trying to listen up, man, but I don't know AT&T. They might have to do the dishes, man, all the time trouble.
Hey, man, they want to keep us from disseminating information to the masses, brother.
Hey, bring it up. I mean, I want you to put me on after I get finished. Put me on hold so I can hear the rest of the show.
Oh, for sure. We can put you on hold.
Hey, man, but I love what you're doing, man. Keep it going, boy.
Oh, always, bro.
Keep us informed, man.
Oh, brother, always. I'm gonna put you up on it. We're gonna keep up on it, and then we're gonna spread it. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna spread it.
For sure.
That's what's up, man. But yeah, you can hang on there, man. We ain't going nowhere. We still got plenty of time. We got plenty of time. We got the book of the week. Got some other stuff to talk about. But tonight is life insurance night, and staying power. That's what we started off the show talking about. Just staying power. Lathan Rogers, I see you on, man. That's the homie from Lindcrest. You know what I'm saying?
What's up.
That's what's
but
up.
Yeah, he actually, the credit unions have good policies too. And I mean, I'm with Five-Star down here in Florida, man. They offer some nice little policies. That you can have already payroll deductible and everything. You know what I mean? So
that's what's up. That's
so
what's
it's
up.
something to look into.
Oh man, come on, bro. Come on, man. Because I ain't even talk about the primary reason that you get a policy, which is the death benefit. But I ain't even talking about the death benefit. I'm talking about the life benefit. Because a lot of times people are focused on the death benefit, and I'm talking to people about getting life insurance. First thing they say is what? Man, I ain't about to die. I say, bro. I said, no, I don't want you to die. I'm just trying to get you right, bro. I just want you to be prepared in case lightning do strike. Then hey, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? You got peace of mind. You know what I'm saying? Eat like a king, sleep like a baby.
Exactly.
You know?
That's what it do. And just so everybody can be informed, just kind of explain a little bit, to the listeners about the whole life part of it, and the part of it, like when you just have it on the job, but after the job's gone, that no longer exists. So just kind of, I mean.
Boy, you dropping some heat. Did you call into the show to drop some heat? Okay. So.
Just let us know, and I'm gonna listen to you. Just put me on hold so I can hear, because I got
for sure.
They tripping out here, man.
For sure. All right. So we'll so let's talk about that. So let's talk about whole life. So it's different types of life insurance. So you got whole life, universal, and that. But the main thing that Brian was talking about was this. A lot of times we have life insurance through the job. So say you work in, you got life insurance through the job. Most times when you get life insurance through the job, more than likely it's a term policy, because it's cheaper for the employer to get term insurance for everybody on the job. Now, I'm not the life insurance expert, so what I always say is this. Seek out the expert in your area.
Yep.
You can always reach out to somebody and find out, get you a life insurance, person. They're more than happy to reach out to you, sit down, explain all the different policies. So you have to look at what your situation is, what's best for you. But even if you have life insurance on the job, right, you have to prepare for life after the job. Be it retirement, be it like you ready to switch jobs. You might be ready to be an entrepreneur. You may already be self-employed or entrepreneur. So from that standpoint, and I'm not going to go into term and whole life right now, right? But what I am going to say is this. Up until about 6 months ago, I was a big proponent of term life insurance. And the thing that term life insurance will do for you, it will cover you over a specified period of time. But once that specified period of time is up, then you have to try to get reinsured. Meaning, if I'm 51, I might be able to get a 20-year policy. I can get a 20-year term policy. It's pretty cheap. You say, okay, cool. If something happened to me and I pass away between 51 and 71, my family is good. I've taken care of my loved ones, what have you. But here's the problem. If you are fortunate and blessed and you live to 72, right? So now you're 72 years old and you got a couple things hanging down, dangling around, shaking up, you know what I'm saying? So now you're going in, you trying to get life insurance at 72, it's going to be, even if you try to get term at 72, because what? They already know your life expectancy, you're a lot closer to your life expectancy end date, expiration, transpiration date, than you would have been at 51. So what you could do at 51 is get you something that's known as a permanent policy. And what is permanent? Permanent means this. It is permanent. And what I mean by permanent is this. Those policies, they are right for you. They are right for 51 to typically they go to 124. So that's pretty permanent, because if you if you outlive that policy and you turn 125, right? If you turn 125, that means your kids are 100, your grandkids are 80, your great grandkids are 70 something.
God almighty.
It ain't gonna happen. Just know. So 124, they'll write the policy. But the thing that's good is you have peace of mind on a real note as you age, get into your 70s, get into your 80s, even into your 90s, you will be insured and you won't have to worry about whether or not you can get insured. So it's just kind of thinking ahead, and that's just, and all of this is, you can get all of this in one policy. Meanwhile, the other thing that you can have built into the policy, and we've talked about this before on the Daily Bread Radio Show, and everybody needs to be aware of this. They have these different components that you got, and one of them is a critical illness component. Critical illness is you in your 50s, you're feeling good, you're strong, and nothing really going on, but you might get into your 60s, 70s, 80s, and you may get diagnosed with, a very serious condition, right? If you have this type of policy in place, one of the things that you can do is you can take what's known as an advancement on your life insurance policy. So instead of you having to, like, okay, when I pass away, all of this money will go to my family, you could get an advancement, you can get a portion of that money while you're still living, and say, hey, you got Make-A-Wish Foundation and things you want to do, like, I always wanted to go to Paris, I always wanted to go to Africa, whatever. You could take some of that money and do some things, or you could take it out and make some decisions while you are working through whatever this serious illness is. It also has a listen to this one, long-term care insurance. Because the other thing is this, when you're getting older, sometimes you may need to have somebody come into the house to help you out. Make the bed, get you out of bed, roll you up to the table, sit you up, prop you up.
Get your teeth out the cup.
Get your teeth out the cup, put your teeth, bite down.
Chew your food.
You know what I'm being fool with? Chew your food. Not with your mouth open. You might need somebody to come by and tell you them put your shoes on.
Them colors don't go together.
That don't match. You might take your shoes off and get in the bed. So you may need to hire somebody.
Hey, come on.
Take your teeth off when you get in the bed. Hey, put your diaper on that. Pull that up over your diaper. You know what I'm saying? You might as well come on out of that room. You might need.
You can't eat them.
You might have to pay somebody. You know what I'm saying? You may have to pay somebody to come in and help you navigate through the crib. So if you find that you're in that type of situation, we got long-term care insurance. You can tap into that. You can tap into that and have somebody come by and help you out. You might need some things, because one of the things that, children, or they have their families and things, things going on in their life, they may not be, it's not that they don't want to do it, sometimes they just don't have availability. Like, I just can't, I can't come by and bring you a 6-pack of Yingling right away. You might, you may need to hire somebody to go make that Yingling run for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want a 6-pack of Yingling, no, 12-pack of Yingling, 2 cigars. That's all, I'm good, and y'all can do whatever. You know what I'm saying? So you may be able to do that. What is that? Hey, you got to put your phone on mute. Put your phone on mute, Big D. But so he said he couldn't hear. Now we can't hear. Hey, D, put your phone on mute, bro.
Can't take you nowhere.
So
Can't take you nowhere.
then, like I am on the radio. Hey, he turned the dial. But that policy will put all of that in place for you. And I appreciate you joining Billy Perdue, April Johnson. I appreciate you. Hey, Big D, you got to put your phone on mute, bro.
Hey, what's good?
Hey, put your phone on mute. Put your phone on mute. So then that way, this policy will take care of all of that. But like I said, a good book to get is called A Banker's Code. Make sure if you get a copy, you can go out to Amazon, pick it up. But if you read through this from George Anton, and I see a lot of people on, we all in the pretty much same generation, a lot of stuff going on. It's just helping us to prepare for the future. So our counterparts are doing all this different. Everybody want to travel. Everybody want to, we don't want to be struggling at 65, 70, 75, 80. So, now is the time for us to plan for it, So that's what today's show was about. It's called Staying Power. Mm-hmm. We want to have staying power, and then we also wanted to make sure that we could talk about becoming the bank, like we the bank, right? And we're going to talk more about that because we got some very powerful information. We got some more powerful information that's coming up starting next month. We're going to have some products that's going to be available that all of the listening audience is going to be able to take advantage of. Mm-hmm. And we'll make sure we let everybody know when those come about. Another book that I wanted to recommend to everybody, because we always have a book of the week, and the word of the week this week is 2 words: stay in power. Mm-hmm. Stay in power, because we started off the show talking about this brother that his name is Andre Ingram. Mm-hmm. He got pulled up from the D League, and that's the developmental league for the NBA. He had been playing in the developmental league for 10 years. He started in the D League at 22 years old. He had been playing through the D Leagues up to 32. And this past week, he got called up to the LA Lakers. And when he got his shot, when he waited for his opportunity, but when he got his opportunity, he made the most of it.
Oh, he really shot too.
He made all his shots. He got in the game. He's like, I'm shooting. Scored 19 points. So now he put himself in a position where it was like, when he did get his opportunity, he took full advantage of his opportunity. Hey, D, you got to put your phone on mute, bro. Hey, man. So when you get your opportunity, make sure you take full advantage of your opportunity, and no matter how long it takes, and make sure that you have that staying power. So this week, that was the word of the week, just staying power. Make sure that you have that. Another good book that I recommend to everyone is this book here. I always refer back to it, and it's not about keeping that going like, the reason we do that is because we have a slave mentality. I don't believe in that, but what I do believe in, I believe in history, right? So this is a part of history, but the thing about history is you can learn a lot from history, and I've talked about this before on this show. This is an excellent book for you to invest in. It's by a gentleman by the name of John Blassingame. It's called A Slave Community. And the good thing about this book talks about all different aspects of slavery, from, mental health, the mental health of the slaves, how they thought about themselves. They talked about self-esteem. They talked about people who went on to get educated. It talks about people who started, earning extra money outside of, when they had to do things for their primary master. They would go out and do different things like you've seen in the movie 12 Years a Slave. He would go out, play his fiddle. He would get some of the money, or they might, break horses or whatever. So they had the opportunity to make some extra money. And what a lot of slaves did, and this is documented in history, a lot of slaves were able to save enough where they could buy their freedom. So if you think about it as a metaphor, that's the same thing that a lot of us are trying to do in 2018. We're trying to save enough. We're trying to listen to this. We're trying to save enough so that way we can buy our freedom. Because if you put enough aside and get to the point where you can divorce yourself from Mr. Charlie, then you have options. Then you can do some different things. But until you put yourself in a position, you know, and there's nothing derogatory about, you know, saying slavery or being enslaved. But the travesty is just sitting there and being stuck in that position. So what you need to do, or what we propose is, you know, as you're in that position at that point in time, because that's just a point in time, then you work towards having something extra. So over time, you'll get to a point in time where you can say, hey, you know what? I can buy my freedom. I can buy, and freedom to you is different than freedom to somebody else. Freedom to you might just be, hey, my house paid for. I ain't gonna have no more mortgage payments. I'm good. I can do all I need to do in here. I'm good. And to somebody else, it might be, hey, I want to buy that $44,000 BMW. Somebody else, it might be, hey, I want to take a trip. But it's freedom. Freedom where you don't have to, somebody else don't have to dictate to you your whole life. There's nothing wrong with that, because part of your life is yours. All of your life is yours, really, right? But if part of it, you have to work and do different things, raise a family, we get it. We get it. But at the same time, start putting yourself in a position where you say, hey, you know what? I'm the captain of my ship. I'm the master of my soul, right? So that way you don't have to depend on somebody on a whim. You come into work one day, oh, that's it. You know, we ain't doing that. We selling everything. We going overseas and all this foolishness. Now you like, oh, I got a car note. I got a boat. I'm about to go to homecoming. I ain't going to be able to get the person to come by to get the Yingling for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to have to sleep with my shoes on in the bed. My clothes ain't going to match. I'm going to be running out of the pins. I ain't got my teeth. I can't get my Effigent. So, you know, we just want to prepare for it, man. That's all we want to do is prepare for it. So, a lot of people join tonight. I see my brother-in-law. Hey, man, I love you, man. Big Ron, I love you, boy. Stan, I love you, man. Hey, that's one of the homies. That's old school there, man. Stanley McClaren, I see you join, man, and I appreciate the support. Make sure that y'all keep spreading the word, because we're going to keep doing what we do over here. You know what I'm saying? They try to make me quit. My producer, you know, every week he got some other kind of shenanigan going on. He want to get on the air. And I'm like, get your own show if you want to get on the air. You can't get on my show.
Oh, Lord.
So we're going to keep doing what we're doing. We here every Thursday from 8 to 9. You can set your clock, set your timer, put a reminder on your phone. Like, oh, man, the Daily Bread is on. Because we're going to keep giving it to you. We got some very, very exciting things coming up in May where you can take advantage of being the bank. That's all we're trying to do. We're trying to inspire and educate people so you can do what? Get educated, motivated, elevated. Educate, motivate, elevate. Educate, motivate, elevate. That's all we're trying to do. We ain't asking for nothing. We just say trying to have and spread the word so that way you'll be in a position so you can learn the language of personal finance, right? Because if I say dobre utro, dobre utro, dobre utro.
That's what it is.
If I say dobre utro and you don't know what I'm talking about, then you don't know the language, then it's whatever I say it is. And that's what's happening with these banks, mortgage companies, credit unions, all of them. So you got to make sure that you understand the language. Dobre utro. So if I'm saying dobre, you don't know if I'm cursing, you don't know if I'm giving you a compliment, what day it is. Dobre utro. Learn the language of personal finance. Learn how to manage that money. Learn the discipline so then you can teach your kids. Because one thing you can't do, you can't teach your kids what you don't know.
Come on.
Right? So if you don't know karate, if you don't know goddamn Caraza, then you can't teach your kids that. So that's what it is. Hey, I appreciate y'all for joining. Hey, Sister Long Sharon, hey, Jaguar, we're gonna have to talk Jaguars, girl. I appreciate you. You know, hey, you always on. Love seeing you. Tammy, I see you too. Appreciate you joining. We'll be on next week, 8 to 9. I love this show. I can't stop. I'm sweating. But make sure y'all go out and pick up that book. Make sure you reach out to me if you want to learn more about life insurance policies. I'm not the expert. I can give you a little bit, and then what I always say is get in touch with the expert. Because I don't need you coming back to me when your policy all jacked up and be like, the Daily Bread, you told me. I'm like, no. Get with the expert. Because that's what I'm getting with the expert, So I want y'all to do the same. Y'all have a blessed weekend. Have a great time. And if you need anything, you can reach out to me at the Daily Bread Radio Show at yahoo.com. You can hit me on Twitter at the Daily Bread Radio Show. Joaquin Thompson at Daily Bread Radio Show on Twitter. And we got some other, like I said, we got some powerful stuff coming up in May. Y'all gonna be like, oh my goodness. Like, oh, we ain't playing on here. So what we say, educate, motivate, elevate, and take this information and put it to work. Take it. Ah! Man, you go. Oh!
But now I see how you were there for me. I can say never would I.
Oh man! Woo!
I know how to hit you.
Never could
Hey! Without